Welcome everyone who's here. My name is Madeline Wolski. I'm the business librarian here at Champaign Public Library. I'm filling in for Laura tonight, so please bear with me. I know she's probably the reason why you all came, besides Emmeline, but I appreciate you all being here. So a little bit of housekeeping before we start the program. So the library is now open to the public. Emmeline had mentioned that she went into the library today. You can do that. We just ask that you wear a mask over your mouth and nose when you're in the building at all times. We are open Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 6 p.m. So a lot of time where you can come in. If you don't feel comfortable coming into the library and you want some help or you want some news about our updated services, feel free to chat us during our open hours, and you can get to that by going to www.champaign.org, or when we're not open, feel free to email us at your leisure at librarian@champaign.org. If you have a question that needs to be more in depth, for example, if you want to start your own business and you want to learn about some really cool resources, you can book a librarian. So this is a 5 to 30 to an hour long appointment where any of our amazing librarians help you with your question or problem. And you can essentially book one of those on our website, champaign.org/book-a-librarian. So about Zoom tonight, it's pretty standard. I'm going to be the person in charge of troubleshooting. So if you have a question, and it looks like we already have one, yes, this session will be recorded for viewing later. We do record all of our webinars, or the majority of our webinars, and we upload them to our YouTube site. So if you maybe started making something with us tonight and you want to finish it at a later date, we will email you the recording, or you can also just find it on our YouTube and do it then. So one way to ask questions is to use the chat function. So if you hover your mouse in the center bottom screen, a little bar will pop up and you'll see a little chat box. You can click on that chat. One thing I want to make note is that you make sure the to is either to all panelists, which is myself and Emmeline, or everyone. So it depends on who can see your message. So obviously just all panelists, it's just us to see it. Everyone, it's public. And I encourage you to use both. It's really fun to kind of talk with other people who are in the webinar, and we'll be asking you guys questions during it. But if you have any issues with tech, feel free to just shoot a chat over and I will help work it through. The other way of essentially you can ask a question is by using the hand raise option. Actually, no, I think that is, yep, you can raise your hand. Okay, good. Yeah, so that's essentially, again, just on the bar at the bottom. You just click that hand and I can essentially unmute you. So that's kind of a better function to use if you want to talk and verbalize your question instead of typing it in the chat. Okay, well, without further ado, I'd love to introduce Emmeline Lauren. She is a craft artist. She makes wearables and decor out of polymer clay, resin, everything. So Emmeline, I'll let you take the stage for a second and introduce yourself.
Okay, hi, I'm Emmeline Lauren. Lauren's actually my middle name, so that's where it comes from. And yeah, I'm really excited to be teaching this. It's my first class, so I don't know, I can't wait. I hope you guys have fun.
Well, thank you, Emmeline. So Emmeline is going to change her screen. And while she's doing that, I am going to just show you all a little bit of her work that she does. So let's go to her Instagram, which is one of the best ways to contact her. So, and you can find her at Loren Made Studio. And again, she makes just the most incredible things. I'm currently obsessed with this adorable punch needle plum. The color's vibrant. It's adorable. So cute. So Emmeline, whenever you're ready, I'll let you.
Madeline.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I just realized I can't see what I'm doing.
That is perfectly fine. I can let you know how it looks. And we're doing something new, so Typically at the library, we will have Emmeline here, but tonight it's virtual, so pretty exciting.
I'm gonna use my tripod. Ugh. Does it look? Oh wait, now I can see it.
Okay, that's good. It looks great. It's centered on the white paper.
Very squeaky.
If you want to move it, I think closer to you a little bit. So I see your
Like,
pen with the cat's tail. So the cat's tail is pointing in the direction where you should go.
it's point this way? This way.
Perfect. I think this
Sorry,
is good.
it's making so much noise.
Oh no, this is perfectly fine.
Okay, that seems good, right?
Okay, and it looks like you're sideways again. Are you able to switch it over? I know, these phone cameras, they just never do what we want.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to go this way, I guess. I thought it would just adjust.
Yeah. Okay, so are you able to zoom out a little bit? Perfect. All right, now we can see the whole white paper.
Perfect. I will make sure I am here.
Great. Looks fantastic. All right, well, I will let you take the stage and put myself on mute.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. All right, we are going to get started. And first we're going to actually, before we even go over the supplies, make sure that your oven is on baking for, that's not the way you say it, that it's turned on to 275 degrees. So it honestly might be a good idea to have your workspace near your oven. My oven's in the other room, so it's not a big deal. But, if you want to be near it, then set up your workspace in your kitchen. Yeah, so you'll just want to put it at 275 degrees. Yes, thank you, Madeline. And then now we will go over, I guess I can give you a second to go do that, and then we'll go over supplies.
So I feel like 275 is such a low temperature. Is that normal?
Yeah, actually, so it's what's recommended on a lot of the clay packages, and it's kind of better to bake clay at a lower temperature for longer so that it isn't as brittle, so that it's more flexible and it won't break.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right. I guess we can get started going over supplies just to make sure you all are acquainted with them and everything. So you should have 2 colors, I believe, of clay. This is polymer clay. It won't harden unless you bake it. So if you leave it out, doesn't matter. Yep. So you'll all have different colors. Mine just happened to be these colors, but that won't matter. Next, you'll have your sandpaper. This is going to be for a later part in the process. Just a little piece. I also have this little guy, but this will work just fine. Let's see. We have 2 split rings. So split rings, let me pick these up, are these little guys, the little ones. And they just have one split. And we have 2 because you'll have enough supplies to make 2 keychains, even though we'll probably only be fully making 1 today. Or I guess, yeah. We'll see what we have time for. Next, you have 4 jump rings. Well, maybe I called the things wrong, Madeline.
Well, you know what? We have the visual, so that's halfway there.
Okay. All right. So I guess you're supposed to have 4 of these. I only have 2. That's okay. We're only going to make 1 keychain anyway. So these are jump rings, not split rings. I'm very bad with terms. These are the key rings. So I have a gold and a silver. I'm not sure if you guys got both silver, both gold, whatever. Doesn't matter. Just preference. These are obviously what's actually the key chain part. All right, we're going to have these skewers or a toothpick you can use. This is going to be used to poke your holes in the clay. I usually use a tool that's like this, but tonight I will be using this because we all have them. 1 piece of cardstock. I have purple just because it was laying around. Doesn't matter what color. This is going to be used for your stencil. And then you need an X-acto knife. Obviously be really careful with these. I have accidentally cut my hand too many times, and yeah, so be very careful. They're sharp. In a baking dish, I have this. I have lined it with just computer paper, and that's because when you bake clay directly on metal, sometimes the bottom gets shiny where it touches the metal. It's not necessary to have the paper. I just find that it keeps it from being shiny, and then I don't have to sand it later. So it's just kind of one less step for me. So if you do have computer paper, go ahead and place it in there. Honestly, it saves you some headache. Obviously you need an oven, which we just preheated, and that's the word I couldn't remember earlier, preheat. You need pliers. You can use one pair. I'm going to be using two, but I'll show you how to do it with one as well. And they're needle nose, which is good for jewelry. And then you will need a glass or a rolling pin. I'm going to just be using my clay rolling pin, but any straight-sided glass or cup will work as long as there aren't like indentations on it. So that is all our supplies. I guess we are ready to get started, right?
Sounds great to me. And again, if anyone has any questions or wants us to go over anything, feel free to pop it in the chat or raise your hand.
Yeah. Okay. So our first step is going to be deciding what shapes we want to make. So normally I would use, like a cookie cutter, like something more like this, right? But if you can't get your hands on these, then it's really cool that you can make whatever shape you want using an X-acto knife and cardstock. So I guess you are also going to need a pen. We are going to decide what shape we want to make. I'm going to do just two really simple shapes. You can copy these or you can make whatever shape you want. Doesn't matter. I recommend keeping it fairly simple. It will make the cutting process easier. And then another important thing to note is you really want it to be smaller than 2 inches, because any bigger on a keychain, it just will be more likely to break. And since this isn't like an earring or anything, it's actually something that's going to get kind of knocked around. Smaller is better, but not too small that you can't cut it. So I'm going to do a heart and a flower, and we are just going to freehand this. Does not have to be perfect. We can adjust later, but also it's the homemade charm. So I guess mine's about 2 inches. I might shrink it down a little bit when I cut it. So my heart, obviously, it's not the greatest heart, but it will work. And then I'm going to do a flower. So just draw your shape. Yeah, the less detailed, the better, but I have done more intricate things before. I did a duck one time because I couldn't find a duck cookie cutter, and it worked out. It just took a lot more like sanding because cutting it out was a bit of a process. So, it was a little funky. So if you guys have your shapes drawn out, the next step is just to cut them out.
So maybe like a good first shape would be something geometric.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I feel like heart's very easy. Flower is a little more complicated because of the turns. You'll just notice when you go at it with an X-acto knife, it's going to be a little bit more awkward. I'm actually going to use my bigger scissors that are covered in glue. So we are going to go at it and just cut it out. This is going to act as our stencil. And this is something I learned honestly off Instagram when I was really confused about how people were making shapes that didn't exist in cutter form, other than like making your own cutter, which you can do with like a 3D printer, but I do not have one. So this is the next best thing. Doesn't have to be perfect because this isn't your final thing. Your clay will be. Cut this shape out. And yeah, if I'm going too fast, please let me know in the chat so Madeline can tell me to slow down. Just gonna cut this little buddy out. Another cute one to do would be a smiley face, because you could just do a circle. I don't know why I didn't do that. That's actually would be so cute. Do a circle and then use your second color to make the smiley face on it. Maybe we'll put a smiley face on the flower. Okay, yeah, this guy's he's funky. He's natural. He's a natural shape.
We're here for an organic flower.
Yeah, he's organic. So here's my two little shapes. We're just going to set those aside briefly, and we are going to grab our clay pieces. So these are my two colors. With this kind of clay, I'm assuming that everyone's is fairly soft because of the brand. Different brands of clay have different hardnesses, and some take a bit more conditioning or kind of like kneading to get soft. And that's because those harder ones are really good for like detailed work, or it really is just the maker's preference. But this brand is already soft and will work perfectly for what we're doing, because we won't have to spend a bunch of time squishing it around. But that is what you can do if you need to. You'll notice if that needs to happen, because when you roll it out, it will crack. And that means you need to massage it more, knead it more, whatever. But this seems fine. And this color also seems fine. So just do a quick check. But I've used this is the Michaels brand, I believe. And it's pretty soft. It's pretty comparable to like Sculpey 3.
So soft is easy to kind of mold and push, and hard is hard.
Yes, it is.
And crackly.
Yes, it is crackly. It's good for some things, for sure. Some people prefer it. I like a good middle ground, honestly. So now we are going to start rolling it out. I'm just going to start with my minty color, or whatever this, I don't know, toothpaste color. And so I have this. You can use your cup, you can use whatever. And we are going to roll it out. At this point, I kind of play it by ear, like the thickness, just because I've done it enough. But I would say we're going for like 1/4 of an inch. And you can flip it over. It's getting kind of dirty, but like we can take care of that later. Lighter color clays, they just pick up everything, honestly. A tip I have learned is that you can use acetone to clean it off after it's done baking. It's amazing. It takes off a very small layer and honestly works really well. Yeah, see, mine's making some, because I have glue on my paper, so that's why my surface isn't completely flat. So
do you recommend people maybe rolling it out on a piece of paper, or also are you using the whole block of clay?
I am, yes. So I'm using the whole block. We'll see. I mean, it's not gonna obviously take up the whole block, but I figure just so we don't have to guess and keep adding, might as well roll out the whole block. And I do it on paper, one, because this background is nasty and covered in resin, and two, because if I was doing it on a regular table, clay's kind of oily and it like leaves an oily residue that you're gonna have to clean off. Or if it's a white table, it might stain it, because I have done that and my actual table is a mess. So that's why I'm doing it on this. And I have it on this mat just because I'm going to be using my X-acto knife. Otherwise, I would have just done it on the table.
Okay, so maybe if people are doing this at home, they should have like a cutting board underneath, just because the X-acto might damage surfaces underneath.
Yes, I would recommend that. I honestly should have done that because this is very bumpy, but this is fine. All right, so we have this rolled out. I'm going to get this one rolled out as well, just so we're ahead of things. And my hair is, I'm shedding.
I'm really curious to see if
oh wow,
everyone else, oh yeah, that does have a color.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see your table now.
I got a new one and promised myself I wouldn't make a mess of it, and that lasted like 2 weeks. So yeah, it's covered in yeah, wow, that's something else.
Well, how exciting though. I mean, we know that this clay is super pigmented,
It
so
is.
these are going to be
Woo!
some stunning
Yeah,
keychains.
I actually love this color. This is a really good color.
Same.
And dark colors, all your little dust bunnies don't show up on it. So that's great. All right, we are rolled out. I'm hoping everyone else is rolled out. If you're not, let us know. And we are going to start cutting. I think I'm going to use the heart for my blue. Just, I don't know. I like this blue. And I'm going to just place it on here. You kind of press it into it just so it stays. Clay's kind of sticky, so it should stay in place. And we are going to go at it with the X-acto knife. So try to kind of cut away from you if you can, just so you don't accidentally jab yourself or something. And we're just going to start and use this as honestly just a guide. And you just kind of do that. It's a really easy way to make whatever shape you want. It's going to be a little rough, but that can be fixed later with either sanding, or you can kind of, it's a little pliable by hand to fix the edges. The flower is a bit more tricky, but the heart should be pretty simple. You can tell I'm cutting the white paper under it. All right, fingers crossed. So as you can see, it's a little messy. We're just going to cut that off. Cut that off. He's stuck to it a little bit. Yeah, it's cute. So we will deal with the sides later. But there he is. I'm just going to set this aside. I'm going to be using this for detailing on my other color later. So I'm just going to kind of intersperse so we can have some detailing and not just a flat keychain with no designs on it. I'm going to bring this up. Honestly, I might kind of move it over here a little bit so it doesn't get blue on it.
Okay, and would you mind pushing that up a little bit, or the whole
Yes.
paper?
Of course, it's stuck
we
to
can.
the resin.
Perfect, thank you.
Honestly, I am going to take the green thing off because it's too bumpy. So you can kind of see my nasty thing.
So here's a question. How do you store the leftover clay for future use?
Okay, that's a good question. I store it, I will show you, in things like this, kind of like tackle boxes. I have a ton of, I have like 4 different ones. But you can also just use plastic bags. It's not going to dry out if you just leave it out, but it just might be kind of annoying because it will attract dust. So that's why I recommend putting it in something covered. So yeah, those are really handy. You can get them for like a couple dollars at like Walmart or Michael's. Or if you don't have anything, yeah, plastic bag works perfectly fine.
Great, thank you.
All right, we are going in it with the flower, and this one's going to be a bit of a doozy. So I'm just going to work my way from in between the petals outwards, just and then come back up.
Is there like I don't know, sometimes I know how you angle the X-acto knife can kind of change how it cuts. Do you have any tips and tricks?
Yes. So I guess for something like this, try to keep it as, I don't know what you say, like straight as possible. Because if you are angled, that's actually important to note. It will kind of, the sides will be angled under. So try to keep it as up, you know, like upright as possible.
Yeah. So I can kind of see how you're holding the knife too. It's like straight up, like a 90-degree onto that table.
Yes,
versus kind of like how you hold a pen.
Yes, exactly. Because if you do that, it'll just, one side will be slanted under, and that's just not going to be as cute, but you can always smooth that out. Making that petal a little bigger. All right.
That's so cool because you think that, I mean, once you bake it, you won't be able to really fix it at all, but contrary to common belief, you
can do lots of things to fix it, honestly.
To Taking the
nice to get it
pressure
right,
off.
but yeah, for sure. All right, let's see if, no, well, he didn't come out. Let's see. Perpendicular. Yep, that's the word.
That is the word.
We aren't very good with our words.
We just have oh, thank you, Teresa. Yeah, we just have, you know, a different vernacular that we use on a daily basis.
Oh, this is a mess. So yeah, this is a mess. We're going to clean them up. It's fine. That's kind of what happens with the more complicated designs. As you will see, the heart came out so clean. We're just going to go in here and we're just going to clean her up.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like when I'm on video, or just talking to people, I forget words, like all the words.
Well, you are teaching a class while talking, so I feel like that's a pass.
Madeline, are you participating right now? Or
I'm not.
are you the viewer? All right.
I am, well, I'm the host. So
all right.
I am making sure it doesn't go up in flames.
I mean, thank
virtually.
you for that.
You're welcome.
But you're a clay artist.
Yeah, I love
Before
me some polymer.
Yeah. Okay. That looks good. I know it looks rough there, but sanding will save that little guy right up. So we are going to move to the next step. If I don't know, did I go too fast? Is everyone with me?
Well, I'm kind of interested to see, did other people do flowers?
Yeah, I want to know, did you guys do these or did you make up your own? Because if anyone did a duck, I mean.
Well, cool. So, and I'm also assuming it's been about 20 minutes since everyone had set their oven to 275. Oh, we have someone who made a star.
A star. That's kind of tricky, like the flower, but since I should have said this, since it's once again words that, you know,
straight
pointy
line.
Straight line. It might be a problem. I was gonna say maybe that'd be easier, but maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, and then we have people doing initial keychains, so like letters.
Oh, that's very cute and sounds hard.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we can get started on the next step. So what I'm going to do is add details to these, just to make them more interesting. And I'm going to use my opposite colors. Obviously, if you have more colors at home, like if you just own clay, you can go crazy with it. But we are going to start with sorry, I keep reading the comments.
Oh yeah, we have someone else who's going to do the Animal Crossing leaf logo. We'll see how it goes. I know, ambitious. I like it.
I know, I'm just like simple shapes over here, but okay, go for it, guys. So I'm going to, on my flower, no, you know what? We're going to do a smiley face. I was going to do just a center, but I'm feeling creative because of this audience. So yeah, for this, it's really kind of do whatever you want. If you want to make a smiley face, you can follow along, but I will just give you a few tips on making sure it sticks to your clay and everything. Yeah, so I'm going to roll out some little eyes. We're just going to plop him. I haven't actually done this, so I hope it turns out cute and not scary. Roll a little eye, and you're just going to want to lightly press him in. The clay, I keep referring to the clay as like a being, but yeah, just lightly press it in so that it is stuck, and you'll be able to tell, like, if you kind of go like that, like it's not going anywhere. And then little eyes. Now the smile. This is the moment of truth if it's terrifying. And
it's all in the angle.
I know. Maybe I should just purposely make it look scary. I don't know.
I'd have that as a keychain. An intimidating flower.
An intimidating aw, it's kind of sweet. All right. I'm rolling out the little. Ooh, we'll see here. I also like to give my smileys cheeks, but like I don't know if I'm up for that right now. That sounds like, you know, the little lines that go off the smile.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use your X-acto knife also to help you make little designs. On the heart, we're going to do squiggles. So I will walk you through how to do that. That looks maybe cute. I don't know. We'll see. We're about to, oh no.
It's actually a nose.
Oh geez. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Take two. It's going to be a little crookedy, I think. I have a feeling. Because it's hard to get it on centered. Oh boy. All right. Luckily, clay is very movable. And as long as you haven't pressed it down, we can adjust. Oh, he's cute. There we go. And then lightly press. So there's my little smiley buddy. Yeah, we are not giving it cheeks. I can just tell it'll be a disaster.
Should we worry about like one clay adhering to another? Like you said, press lightly, but will it stick well or?
Yes, as long as, so once again, with the hard and soft clays, I would say with hard clays, you do have to be a little more careful and make sure it's really stuck in there. But with the soft clays, they are a bit more, I don't even know if sticky is the right word, but a little more sticky, and they stick to each other better. And as long as you're like moving your hand on here and it's not moving, it's on there. It's on there. If you're really worried, later on you can add like a clear coat or something, but as long as you're lightly pressing, you obviously don't want to distort the features, but a lightly pressing motion with soft clay will be enough. Should be. So there's little buddy, kind of looks like a cloud actually. I don't know. And heart time. So we are going to do some classic squiggles. I actually did one before this, so it's going to look kind of like this. And I am a big squiggle fan. I love everything squiggly. So
that's like one of your, like one of the tenets of your designs too. Your big earrings.
Yes, I love a good squiggle. So we're just going to start rolling it out. We're going to make it pretty thin. Honestly, it's going to kind of look like a little iced cookie. It's the vibe it's giving me. I'm hoping this doesn't pick up the blue from there, but we'll see. And yeah, so you can just lightly roll it out. It's kind of fun to make these little worms. Oh, see, I've got some blue on there. It's fine. We'll just cut that off. We are not going to deal with that. All right. So we've got it like this. You can do it any thickness you want. You obviously also don't have to do squiggles. You can do whatever you want. But it is fun and it's pretty simple. So I'm just going to cut a length that I think will work. Just kind of guess here. And we're going to cut off the excess after. So I'm just going to start kind of in the middle of the heart. And you're just going to just kind of start wiggling them over. Deep, deep. I'm really liking these colors together, actually. These are kind of fun. I'm interested to see what other color combos people got. Will be fun.
Yes, so at the end of the webinar, if you do want to show what you've made, just let me know and I will essentially make you a panelist so you can share your screen or share your video.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
A little show and tell.
So as you can tell, I'm just trimming the edges off so that it matches neatly with the heart. We're gonna come up with another one. Also, my squiggle is a little off center, but that's okay. He's living life. And then I'm just going to keep going. I think we're gonna do a little one down here. Kind of looks like ocean waves because the colors. Do a little trimsy. Oh, and I even cut the blue clay, but it's fine because you can fix it. Oh, yeah, I don't know. My my squiggles are a bit different. There we go. So you can just push the clay, fix it. And we're gonna add a top one. I've got glitter on my clay because there is glitter everywhere in my art room. I kind of wish she was a bit more even, but trying to be okay with this. All right, and we're gonna just, actually this needs to be a bit thinner. So I hope everyone else's details are going well. I wonder if anyone else did spooky smileys.
I know there's a lot of fun things that you can use in your home to make like fun shapes and like little other details. Something I like to use is a straw, like just as making tiny, or sometimes I'll squeeze the straw so it looks like a little leaf.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's also interesting because then you have to like blow out the clay on the other side.
Yeah.
So it's an active, it's a active pattern.
Active experience. Yeah. That's so funny. I actually have this little, this isn't for shapes, I guess, but for decoration, this little like, yeah, it's kind of a mess, but it makes like textures.
Oh,
so
indentations. Oh,
ignore
that's
the
great.
mess, but yeah.
Like
so
I could see you, like it makes me think of like pie crust. I used to use like the back of a fork to kind of get that crimped edge. Like that would be cute too, like a little crimped edge
that would
on the
actually
heart.
be so cute on the heart.
Yeah.
If I had a fork in here, but I don't.
You don't keep forks in your craft room?
Honestly,
Strange.
I'm surprised I don't. Oh, we got a request for something.
Yes, okay, I've pinned it. Yeah, apologies.
I'm pinned. All right, I'm just pressing to make sure it is situated. Kind of like it, you know, it's a fun, watery art. And then we've got Mr. Cloud. I know it's supposed to be a flower, but all I can see is cloud now. Do you think everyone is ready? I honestly do not know.
Yeah, well, let's let, if anyone is still working on their design details, please let us know. But I'm not seeing anything coming in.
Cool. All right, awesome. So the next step is the last step before baking, other than, you know, cleaning up your edges if you want, but we are going to sand them. So this looks pretty good. This guy's a bit more rough, but is fixable. So the next thing is going to be, you will need your skewer. And this is going to create the hole that you will put your jump ring in. So you can really pick wherever you want, as long as it's about, you really eyeball it, but if you look at this, you really want it to be about half that width away from the edge, which is, I'm not sure if that's like an 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, 1/8, you know, somewhere in there. Just kind of eyeball it. And I'm gonna do mine so that he hangs a little sideways. And you're just gonna stick it in there. And then it's gonna come out the back side, just go like that. And in the back, as you can see, it's gonna come out a little. You can just press that down. And that one is ready to go. I'm gonna sand all that off. And getting clay all under my nails. So for the heart, a little more tricky because there's 2 layers, but we're just gonna go through it. Squish them a little. Like that, and then once again, just press that. There, perfect. We are ready to go. All right, I am going to go bake this now. So if everyone has theirs ready, I have found that the temperature and time amount that works best for me is 275 for about 20 minutes. Sometimes on clay packages, it honestly says all sorts of things. Sometimes it says 15 minutes, but I've just found that that's not necessarily enough. So I think it's probably because I bake a little thicker items. And so I found that 20 minutes works the best. So I'm going to go put these in the oven right now for 20 minutes, and everyone else can do the same. You can do 18 to 20, but I would say 20 is a good number. So I will be right back. You can see that lovely mess.
Okay, so while Emmeline pops that in her oven, I'm curious to see what kind of designs everyone else did. And while you all pop that in your oven, feel free to comment if you'd like. I think if I were making the flower, I would probably do my straw thing. I love polka dots. I'd probably cover it in polka dots.
Oh, I like that idea. That sounds very cute. Move my clay away from my space, so it's a little sticky. Make sure I have all my items for next time. All right, is everyone's in the oven? Hopefully, because I figured I could go over some tips and tricks while we wait, because it's going to be 20 minutes. And there's not really a whole lot to do process wise. So we can go over some clay tips, and also if anyone just has questions about any of the process, we can do that. So let's see. I will show you all how to make swirly clay, because it's something really simple and fun. I'm actually going to show you an example really quick. This is a piece for one of my squiggle necklaces that I haven't like fully made yet, but as you can see, it's almost like a marbled effect on this one. And that's made by swirling the clay together to a certain degree. So since we have two colors, we can definitely make that happen. And you don't have to work along to this, because it just depends on if you want to. But I figured it would be a cute thing to teach. So you're going to roll your two colors into some noodles. Don't have to be perfect at all. Just like this. Also, I'm sure there are other methods for making things swirly, but this is just what I always do. And it can be really fun to play with clay. And this is also how you would mix your two colors. If I mix these, I'm not sure like if it would be, I don't know. We will find out. We'll see if it changes the color too much. I'm not sure it will, just because this is such an overpowering color. But next, you're going to wrap it around this, one around the other, kind of. Almost looks like a DNA strand or something. And if you hear something, it is probably my guinea pigs, because they are angrily biting on the cage right now.
They just want to have fun with us.
They do. They feel very left out because I'm not in the same room. All right. So you have this, and it's actually just so pretty. Like, you could even do something with this. This would make such a cute hoop earring, honestly. But we got this, and you're going to fold it in half. Do a little squeeze, and do it again. And again. And then mush. You're gonna mush. And then this is very primary stages of the swirl, but you can kind of see it if you want to smooth it out. Kind of looks like a peppermint or a tiger. So to continue swirling it, you literally just keep, not exactly doing that, I guess. You keep making it into a noodle and spinning it. So noodle, spin. Then you can fold and spin. And then we're going to mush it, see if that's how much we like it. If not, you can continue. Honestly, that looks very cute. I like that. Then once you had that, you could make your shape out of that, or whatever you wanted. Let me see if I have a little shape I could do. Just have a circle. So, you could just make that be your piece. It's very pretty and super easy. Honestly, looks like a planet. But if you wanted to go further and make a new color, you would just honestly keep doing that and kind of kneading it and conditioning it until they mix together all the way. And I have done this, especially when I can't find the color I need in stores, because clay has been honestly very hard to find recently. However, in this case, the blue is really going to overpower the mint. So what you'll find when mixing colors is if there's a darker color or a bolder color, you will need smaller amounts of that. There's a lot of clay recipes online on Pinterest, honestly tons, and they're really fun. You can make really unique colors that don't already exist. So as you can see, it's almost mixed and it hasn't really changed a whole lot. It's gotten a little bit lighter, but you can definitely make more drastic colors. So I'm not going to finish it, but yeah, that's how you would mix colors. Definitely, if you're interested in getting into clay, I would recommend looking up clay recipes and color recipes. Yeah, so it's really fun to mess with, especially if you only have like some primary colors. You can make lots of fun shades. Well, Madeline, should I just show them some of my stuff, or what do you think?
I'm wondering, would we be able to put the jump ring on the key ring now?
Yes, you
Okay.
are right. I forgot.
Oh, no worries.
So that is one thing we can do ahead of time. And I'm actually going to just be finishing one of the keychains. And so I'm going to use 2 for it. So I think you should have 4 so that you can make both of them. I'm going to use the silver. And we're going to do this. We're going to get this jump ring. And here's an important thing to note with doing this. When you're opening jump rings, and actually I'll show you how to do it if you only have 1 set of pliers, you do not want to, and actually I'll give you an example with just a spare one I have sitting around. You don't want to yank them this way. Like, you don't want to do this. You don't want to yank them outwards. And that's because when you go to close it, it's going to be hard and you are going to have ruined the entire shape. And it's not really focusing, but kind of get the idea. So, and also once it's baked, you can make minimal changes with sanding. If you mean like major changes, not really. You could use an X-acto knife to cut some pieces off, but yeah, I would try to get mostly it all how you want before you bake it, other than, like little rough bits that we can sand off, because you can definitely do that. So as for opening the jump ring, we are going to just push it away. So hold one side, the split's in the middle, push the other side away. You can do the same thing with pliers. This is perfectly fine though. Push it away so it's a little bit open. And then, oh, Madeline, do you know what that said?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, I'm going to ask that after you're done with the key ring tutorial.
Perfect. I keep getting distracted. I need to focus. Okay, so once you have that open like that, you're just going to slide them on here. And I would put the other one on right now, but we're honestly just going to wait until we're ready for the clay. So just leave the other jump ring hanging. And this one, I'm going to close it with both. But yeah, as you'll see, closing it is super easy if you open it this way, because you just bring it back. I like to go past it, like past the first wire piece a little bit, and then it'll kind of spring back into place. And as you can see, hopefully if it focuses, it's good to go. And we will do the other one once we have our piece. So your jump ring should just look like this.
Great. So we do have a question about the polymer clay. So after it's baked, are we able to change it at all besides the sanding or using anything else? So like your smiley face on the flower, would that, could we change that after it's been baked?
No, I would say no. You aren't really able to, besides sanding or like cutting holes in it or drilling holes. You can't really change any drastic things. You could possibly like try to pry the smiley face off, but then your clay will be a mess. So yeah, I recommend having all your details clay wise done before you bake. Obviously you can add, you know, like rhinestones or whatever after, you know, glue those on, but anything polymer clay, I would recommend having that all done beforehand.
Okay. So, and then would you be able to show the king ring again?
Yes. All right, let me just, I'll just undo it and re-show you. So, starts like this. You're going to put the split in the middle. Hopefully, it's really hard to see because it's very small, but the split is in the middle facing up. Now I'm going to grab my other pair of pliers, or you can just use your finger. And you're going to just press the left side away from you just a little bit, just enough so that it opens and will fit over your key ring. Yes. And you just loop it on there. And then we will just bring it right back. And I like to bring it back a little bit further than it started because it'll spring back into place and you can kind of just wiggle it around until it is back to its starting position, and then you are good to go. You just don't want to have a big gap, which is what will happen if you open it the other way. It's just really hard to get it back to its starting point. So yeah.
So we have another question. So can you only put decoration on, or could you join two pieces? So for example, could you do a flower in one color and the stem in another? So how would you connect two different shapes?
Yes. So I wonder if I have
not on top of each other.
I see what you're saying. I don't have any pieces made right now, but I have done that. So yes, you can do that. It's a bit more tricky just because it can be a bit more tricky to say like get it to stick, you know, like without being sure that it's going to break off. So I would recommend doing it beforehand just because gluing pieces together like that, it's just not going to be as strong as if you bake them together. But say you have, you know, like I don't know, I'm not actually going to make anything, but a blob, and you want it to have a little stick coming off. So this is like my fake flower and stem. You're going to press it in, and then you're going to want to do what honestly like people do with like ceramics, you know. I don't really have like a tool here, but you could use a little tool and just kind of, it's like kind of hard to see, but you're going to want to go at the edges so that it kind of melds together. You can often use like a little plastic tool to do this. And this is just how I do it. Honestly, oh, here it is. There could definitely be other ways, like you could score it, but you'll want to do something like this to help make sure it stays, you know, connected. You also could technically glue it afterwards. It's just that if it's going to be something like a keychain, it's more likely to break. So you just have to keep that in mind. Another thing you could do, which is takes a bit more time, but will make it much more sturdy, is, hopefully this makes sense. You could make the entire outline of the flower and the stem in one color. And then you could make a flower to sit on top and the stem to sit on top. And that way, you know, like say this was all one color, and then you would make the flower, this is a bad example, and the stem. And that way it'll have more support. And instead of just being two pieces that are kind of precariously together, it'll be more solid. It does take more time, but that's what I would recommend if you're worried about the pieces breaking. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, looks great. So it looks like we have 5 minutes until the clay's ready, I think.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so here's something I just want to see if it's possible. Have you ever tried braiding clay together? I know you did like the loop or like
Yes,
when you
you
were
can.
marbling. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so that's the cool thing is that like
Yeah, you can do
polymer
like
clay, it's
so many
pretty,
things.
it's malleable and yet it really keeps its shape pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, you can definitely braid it. I've seen some pretty cool things made like that. Honestly, I'll try it really quick.
I'm also looking at your nails right now, Emmeline. Would I be able to put different materials within the polymer clay? Like gold
So
leaf or
yes, absolutely. Gold leaf is actually something really fun to work with clay. Whatever you're putting in, just you want to make sure you can bake it and it's not going to like cause a oven fire. So yeah, metal items are okay. Gold leaf is fine. As for like glitter and stuff, I'm not completely sure. I would add that afterwards. Yeah, but gold leaf and metal components. Some people even bake, honestly, their stuff with the jump ring in it. I don't do that, but you can. Oh, this is kind of a mess, but let's try to braid it. Yeah, we can braid it. It's just, I probably should have like made them more even, but yeah, this would be fun if you wanted to make like a little person or something. That'd be so cute. A little hair.
yeah.
But yeah, or an earring would be cute too. Yeah. But yeah, I have lots of glitters. And I usually add most everything after. I have heard that you can bake Swarovski crystals in with your clay. I haven't tried it, but I have heard you can. I usually just put them on after.
Mm.
Yeah.
So how durable is polymer clay once it's been baked? Oh, and we also have we would like to see some of your things
Oh
that you've
yeah.
made.
Okay, so polymer clay, let me grab some. It really depends. It can be fragile for sure. Actually, I'll show you some examples. But it's pretty durable as long as you take care of it. So this is, for instance, an earring I made. It's a little snaky, and this is with a paint pen, Swarovski crystal, and a UV gloss. And he's pretty sturdy because of the fact that it's flexible. And since it's flexible, it won't snap as easy. But obviously, you're not going to want to like go at it because it will break, which can happen. It all is about being careful, but you know, it can be durable. Like I made a coaster and I don't have it because I sent it out today, but that was pretty durable because it was so thick and sturdy, you know. I'm trying to see. Unfortunately, I slacker this week and haven't made a ton of things, but I can show you some unfinished items, I guess, that I haven't glued. So these are for barrettes. This is not clay. I don't know. Am I supposed to be showing?
I think ideally clay would be pretty cool, but
like,
barrettes
what am
are
I
still
doing?
great.
Okay, that's a barrette. I'm all over the place. Let's see. Here's some squiggle hoops. There's some red ones. So these are some hoops I make. Normally don't honestly work in red, but this was for a collab I did. Because I'm a very big pastels, bright color person. But yeah, these are some squiggle hoops. Same, it just doesn't have the earring on it. Let's see what we've got here. These were earrings. I just haven't attached the earring components to them. But they are hearts that I just baked, and then I added these smiley faces that they're like these little glitter pieces almost. I added them after, and then I sealed it with a sparkly resin coat. So actually that's also something, is that resin can be really fun to coat your clay with. It's really shiny. So this was a pair of earrings.
So Emmeline, I'm wondering, it's been 20 minutes.
Yes.
Are the keychains ready?
You know, my oven hasn't beeped, but I can go check. Let me go see. Yeah, I bet it's like almost there. So I will be right back and I will check if everyone else wants to check theirs as well.
Yeah, and someone asked about the glitter UV coating. So I'm going to pull up a link. While Emmeline checks her things.
Looks like I have 30 seconds.
Okay. So is the UV coating resin or is
Yes.
it like a, okay.
So it is this, I'll show you. It's a bit messy. This is what I use for my coatings. I use a UV resin, got it on Amazon. And you ideally need a curing light for this. It's very similar. It actually is exactly the same as what you put your nails under. But you can also use sunlight as long as it's bright enough. So let me go grab my clay pieces because I hear them beeping.
Great. And I am reading that we are still having issues with the video switching from me to Emmeline. I have Emmeline's video pinned, so know that I'm working on that in the background. And I apologize if it's not working. Let's try this. So, Emmeline, how do you know when your clay is done baking?
So here they are. That's, you know, it's a bit kind of just by ear. It's hard to tell right when they come out of the oven because honestly, they will still be very flexible while they're hot. So you have to wait for them to cool down and then you'll be able to tell. Honestly, just after working with them for a while, you'll be able to tell more what it's supposed to be. But I like them to have a bit of a flex if they're thin pieces like this. Like if they're really thick, they won't. Like my coaster, for instance, which I wish I had to show you. But if it's something like this, you want it to have like a slight bend.
So could you mold it while it's hot?
To an extent, yes, but not really anything extreme because it will break. So I'm trying to think of what, yeah, I'm honestly not sure if you could like majorly mold it. Because like, if you want to see, like it's bendy, but it's not necessarily going to hold its shape unless you prop it with something. So. Oops.
And another question, can you rebake it if it isn't done?
Yes, I hope I'm not giving false information, but I have done it before and it's fine. So yeah, you'll know once it's, once it's cool, if it's not what you want it to be, if you feel like, oh no, I did not bake it enough, you can throw it back in the oven for a couple minutes.
Okay, so I am on Sculpty.com and it says, yes, you can rebake polymer clay as long as it doesn't have any resin or paint on it.
Yes, that is a good point. You wouldn't want that to be lighting on fire in your oven. That would not be good. I have burnt clay before because it was someone else's oven and the temperature was not what it said it was and they turned all charred. So they were charred smiley faces. It was very sad.
Okay. So it looks like we've already passed our hour-long mark.
Oh no.
Well, we're having a great time. So how long does it typically take to cool?
So it's honestly, it's pretty fast. Like I can already touch them without it hurting me. But they are definitely still warm. But I can show the process if you would like, because they're honestly fine to work with. Let me just place this. But I would say honestly, it cools down like 5 minutes. Probably it's good to go. It's nice to take it off the baking sheet as soon as you can because the heat obviously from the baking sheet will keep it warm for longer.
Or maybe it'll continue cooking it just like cookies.
Yes, that's the worst when you think the cookies are perfect.
And then they're not every time.
Every time. So do you want me to just go ahead and kind of show, honestly?
Or let's use the sandpaper. Because we included that in the craft. So if everyone's okay staying an extra 10-15 minutes, I'm perfectly fine extending this. I'm seeing a
Cool.
yes. So we're going to do
Cool,
it. And again,
yeah.
if you need to leave, know that this is going to be recorded and it will be sent to you.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm quite a talker, so.
Well, good things take time.
Exactly. I'm just gonna finish up this one and not the flower. So I just like threw in. All right. So you're gonna want to take your sandpaper. I have a little bowl of water just because water helps the sandpaper glide better. It's just a better experience all around, but you do not need it. So I just dip mine in there, or you can dip your piece in there. Doesn't matter because clay can get wet. And then on the sides, I'm just gonna do this, and it's gonna help smooth out all those rough marks we made with our X-acto knives. And if you really have like a lot to take care of, you're going to want to start with a smaller grit. So that's what this is. I don't know what it is, but it's a much smaller grit, which means it's rougher. Luckily, I don't have a whole lot. So I'm using this fine one, which is 2000, which is a great one because it won't leave scuff marks on your clay. And you're just gonna go pat it. And there's not a whole lot to clean up on this guy, but for those of you who did more detailed ones, there might be more to clean up, which is totally fine. Definitely doable, will just take a little longer. And people who do this, more professionally often have a Dremel with a buffing or sanding tip, and that makes it really quick and easy, but also really quick and easy to get carried away and completely destroy the shape, which I've done. So I'm kind of folding it to get in the cracks. Yeah, so I think that's pretty good to go. I'm just going to dry it on my shirt because I don't have a paper towel, but paper towel ideally would be great. You can also sand the back, but since I used the paper, it's totally fine. It doesn't have any of those shiny marks, and it's good to go. With little kids, I would say I did it all the time when I was a kid, all the time. Just make sure you're helping them with the oven part. Not, if they're really little, don't let them use the, I don't know, I'm not a parent. But yeah, definitely like the clay part, totally safe. You might have to help them with the jump rings and everything, but clay I did all the time as a kid. It's really just kind of like Play-Doh that holds its shape. So.
And the question was, how safe is it with little kids, that Emmeline was answering? So
yes.
And Emmeline, we have another question. Someone has white on the back of theirs. Does it matter what kind of paper you use? It kind of stuck.
Oh no. Interesting. Did you use computer paper? Because I'm wondering. Yes. Okay.
So that has happened to me before when I use polymer clay. And I found that it might be because the clay is a little bit too soft. There's a lot of oil in it. So sticking that once before you bake it, leaving it on a piece of computer paper for a little bit, you can kind of start to see the oil seep into the paper.
Yes.
And then lift that up, putting on a new piece of paper and then baking it.
There, that's a perfect, yeah, that works. I was actually going to say you can pop it in the fridge to kind of make it a little more stiffer. That is something you can do, but yeah, I bet it's because it was too conditioned, in which case it stuck to it. So sorry, I didn't even think about that. But mine has stuck before to the metal, so that does make sense that it could have done that.
Well, would the acetone help get the paper off?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Acetone and a cotton ball. And just you could also sandpaper it first and then do it, and up to you, but the acetone should get it off, because what it's going to do is take off the very, very top layer, and that's also really good to do if you have, if you get little hairs in it or dust or even fingerprints. It's going to help smooth everything out. Yeah. So we are going to do the last step now. And my stomach is growling for dinner. All right, let's see. So we've got this. Actually, we are not going to grab this. I don't know what I'm doing. You're going to grab your second jump ring. And you're going to do exactly what we did the first time. going to grab it like this, push this, so the split's in the middle, push the left side back. Probably a little bit more than the first time because we need to go through the clay. I'm gonna grab your clay. We've got our hole right here. Oh, do not want to dump that water. Go like that. And now take this, put that jump ring, you know, through this jump ring. I'm a mess. Like that. And grab your pliers again, or you know what, I'll just show you how to do it with my finger. Clay is everywhere. And you just press it. It's kind of easier to show you with the pliers. You just press it back, just like that. And voila, we are done. Super cute. Yeah, if you wanted to add sparkles at this point, you could do it. You could glue them on there. If you wanted to add the resin coating, I would do it before you add your jump ring. Actually, something I will show you really quick, in case you don't want to invest in a whole resin and a UV cure light thing, is, and mine is literally out, but this stuff is pretty magical. It's actually called Dimensional Magic, and it looks exactly like UV resin, in my opinion, and it dries in like 3 hours. It's kind of pricey, but it is pretty cool, and you can just coat your piece with that. So Mod Podge, Dimensional Magic, you can get at Michael's or probably other places. So yeah, and I honestly just think the shine gives them a really cool finish, but matte is totally fine too. And there it is. Super cute. Actually, I really like this. I like how it turned out. Yeah, that's it.
That's so great. Well, I am going to kind of open the floor to everyone else. So this is a great time to kind of ask some questions if you have any, or if you want to showcase what you made, simply just raise your hand or express interest in the chat, and I will turn you into a panelist.
Ooh.
I know, it's very fancy.
I'm a panelist. Yay!
We're getting a lot of thank yous. So thank you all for coming. So while people are deciding if they want to showcase what they've made, I would like to share with you all where to find our next Crafty Adults event. So this is not just like a one-off thing. We do these programming, this type of programming every month. So I'm sharing my screen right now. We're on the Champaign Public Library website. I'm going over to events on the right-hand side of the page. Clicking on that, it opens up our calendar, and this includes all of our events at the library. You can tell they are organized by color. So all of the Crafty Adults programs are under our adults, even though we have a lot of people who bring their kids, perfectly fine. So I'm clicking on adults right here, scrolling down, you can kind of see, oh, hey, it's today, Crafty Adults Polymer Clay. So let's look at next month. We have Joan Jock, who is an incredible artist, a local artist of Old Town Flowers, and she is going to teach us how to paint a watercolor flower wreath. So this is going to be really exciting. As you may well know, a lot of these classes are hot commodities, so make sure as soon as it goes live, you sign up. So we have someone who would like to share.
Yay!
And so I've just promoted Jenny as a panelist. So Jenny, feel free to. Great.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. I was the one who did tried the Animal Crossing little shape. It turned out all right.
Yes, it turned out more than all right.
Well, I tried another one where I tried to cut the lines, but I went with the one that didn't have the lines. It looked better.
That's incredible.
We made a little heart with my daughter's initial on it.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
Pink clay. It looks like, I can't tell if it has glitter in it or if it was just glitter on my kid's hands when she was trying to like roll it out. Did any of the clay come with pre-glittered, I guess?
You know what? My mint it looks a little glittery, to be honest. Yeah. So maybe they do.
Some of them did have glitter.
Cool. It looks awesome. So thank you.
No, thank you so much for joining.
Yay, yeah.
All right. And then we have Afisa. So Afisa, you are now a panelist. So I'm going to, Aviza, ask you to start your video if you want to share. Hi, and then you're also muted. There we go.
So,
Hi.
my 5-month-old that has been participating in Crafty Adults last year, all the series. And she was in Mommy's home. Okay, we did this like
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh.
yellow dino,
That's
green background. Yeah.
That
I
is
love it.
incredible.
A cute memory for little Manu.
Oh my
That
god,
is
that's adorable.
fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Jessica, I just promoted you to panelist. This is so exciting. I love seeing.
I
all of
know. I'm very impressed.
Hello.
I made these these are my daughter's initials, and I
That's
thought I
adorable.
would just hang them on like a little necklace.
Oh,
I love it. Yes.
that is
oh,
fantastic. The colors look really well together also.
I agree.
Yeah, I
Or-
love that
yeah.
the colors were just like random and just went with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks so cute.
Thank you so much. This was fun, and I love the dinosaur too. That was super cute.
Yeah, the dinosaur was incredible.
I'm very impressed.
Thank you for joining. Okay. So let me go back to attendees. I'm flipping from one to the next. It looks like I think that's it for tonight. So Emmeline, a huge thank you and a round of applause. Thank you for sharing your expertise. We got to showcase some of the amazing things that you make in your shop, Loren made. So again, I'm gonna just pop that in here. So you can find her on Instagram, and I believe you have a website in making.
Yes, I have a website. It is kind of like password protected right now because my next drop is Saturday. So it will go live Saturday. It's supposed to be noon, but I set it when I was in a different time zone. So it's either noon or 1 p.m.
Well, that's pretty great. All right. Well, once again, thank you everyone for joining us tonight.
Yes, thank you.
If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via email, librarian@champaign.org. You can also chat with us during our open hours, Monday through Thursday, from 9 to 8 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 9 to 6 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 6 p.m. You can also book a librarian. So Laura, she is our librarian who teaches this programming. She's actually taught people how to knit during one of our book a librarian. So anything under the sun, we can help you or point you in the right direction. And that's just champaign.org/bookalibrarian. And to sign off, thank you again, everyone, for joining us. And we will be sending this recording out via email within the next 2 weeks. And thank you all again. And Lauren, you have a wonderful evening. Give your guinea pigs a hug from all of us.
Oh, yes, I will. I hope everyone has a great evening. And yeah, thank you for joining. This was really fun.
All right. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye.
Bye.